All right, welcome in. We're back again in Oxford, Ohio for Game 2 between the Sun Devils and the Red Hawks on the NCAA D1 slate. Thank you for joining us. Dylan Pescator here on Blaze Radio. We got a great one for you, just like we did last night. I mean, what a game. Sun Devils lead 4-1 going into the final half of the third period. Miami scores 3 in a row, including a power play goal and a goal with an empty net as they brought in the extra attacker with 56 seconds left. And then eventually Miami, Ohio wins it in overtime, just 17 seconds into the extra period. They take the win 5-4. So a great first night here at the Goggin Ice Arena at Steve Coach Katie Arena in Oxford, Ohio. And now Game 2 as the Sun Devils look to split and get back to Tempe tomorrow as they face Stonehill next weekend, hopefully at 5-1. Both teams now 4-1. Miami suffering a similar loss to the Sun Devils as they did last night. Miami lost to Ferris State in Game 1 of the season 2 weekends ago. They were up 4-1 in the third period. They lost that lead. They lost 5-4 in overtime. So a little deja vu between those two games. Let's start with the goaltenders tonight because that's the biggest storyline of the game. For Miami, it's back to normal. It's Logan Neaton. He started every game this season. He has a .276 goals against with a .911 save percentage. Had a pretty good game last night. A lot of the goals were from a pretty, far out distance. Good shots by Kyle Smolin along with Lucas Sillinger. And he gets the start again tonight, does Neaton, the Winnipeg Jets draft pick. Now, there was some thought that Bruno Braveras, their freshman who just gained eligibility, would get the start tonight. That's not the case, and Neaton right back in there after the win last night. On the Sun Devil side, we have a change, and there hasn't been a lot of change at the goaltending position for the Sun Devils in a couple of years. Usually it's been send out TJ Seppenfelter, and that's it. Well, tonight we got a little bit of a difference. It's Gibson Homer getting his first collegiate start at goaltender tonight. It's a goaltender who came in last season, and Seppenfelter really took over the role, and Homer didn't get any time at all, and he came up to Coach Powers, head coach of the Sun Devils, his 9th season at D1, 16th season overall, and said, look, I realize I'm not going to play. I'd rather redshirt, sit out the rest of the season, and gain another year of eligibility because he wants to play here. He wants to be a Sun Devil, and he wants to gain more eligibility at the college level. So redshirted last year as a redshirt sophomore, and tonight will be his first ever start at the D1 level. So Homer gets in. He had no stats going into today. A little bit of history on him. Originally from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Played for the Chicago Steel, which is the top program in the USHL. Also played for the United States National Team Development Program, which is the same team that Ty Murchison played on as well. So a little bit of familiarity there for Gibson Homer. He gets the start tonight for the Sun Devils, and Neaton, like we said, for Miami gets the start for the Red Hawks. We're just about 10 minutes away from puck drop in Game 2 between these two teams in the gorgeous Goggin Ice Arena. It was built in 2006. You have anything you could ever want. It's a lot of brick in the corners, and that's really what Miami, Ohio, and their university is known for. A lot of brick buildings on campus. A chillier day today, about 55 degrees outside for those chilly relative term when we talk about Arizona, right? So brick, a lot of brick here at Goggin Ice Arena, red seats. The Sun Devils will go back to their black jerseys tonight, and Miami is going back to their whites with the Miami across their chest. It's a little bit different from yesterday. It's a alternate jersey from their usual whites, but still the same overall color with the red Miami spelled out across their chest and the red numbers and letters on the back. Sun Devils right back to their blacks with the yellow pants on and the yellow pitchfork across their chest, yellow numbers and yellow lettering, gold lettering across their back. So that's our setup for today. Red Hawks and Sun Devils coming up. We're going to do the national anthem. They're going to clean the ice, and we'll be back for puck drop at 7:04 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:04 for those back in Arizona. As I said before we went off the air, we're going to, as usual, break for our wonderful national anthem and everything that goes on in the pregame. Today's a little bit different. It's usually a 7:05 start here from Goggin Ice Arena in Oxford, Ohio. Today will be a 7:15 start due to the parents tonight and the ice needing to get clean and everything that goes along with that. So we got a little bit more time before the game starts between the Sun Devils and the Red Hawks. So let's go through the lineups. Not a lot of changes for either side, but one for each, including the goaltender for the Sun Devils, as we mentioned before, Gibson Homer getting his first collegiate start for ASU. The first and the fourth lines, which had their best days of the season, they stay together. When we're talking about Sillinger, Ty Jackson, Dylan Jackson from left wing to right wing. Same thing with Eckerly, Smolin, and O'Reilly. Smolin with the third goal last night, and Eckerly and O'Reilly also playing big roles and wearing down the Red Hawks offense, along with their defensive core. On the first line, Sillinger, Jackson, and Dylan Jackson had incredible nights. I mean, you talk about Sillinger's goal to make it 2-1 at the time. Ty Jackson got the scoring started. It was the first line of what a first line should be like, and they produced like it. Sun Devils putting up 4 goals last night, however, not being able to come out with the win. The second and the third lines is where things get a little bit jumbled. Alex Young gets moved down to the third line, Shane up to the second. So it'll be Copperud, Alexander, and Young playing together from left wing to right wing. Same with Grattan, Chambers, and Shane. So Shane and Young, they switch spots. All 12 forwards are the same for the Sun Devils as they played yesterday. On defense, much of the same except one little change for ASU. Brandon Tabakin plays with Timmy Lovell, as he's always had. Murchison plays with Schmaggy, as he has. A small change. Josh Niedermeyer stays in the lineup. He's going to play with the freshman Anthony Dowd. So a freshman D pairing for Greg Powers' Sun Devils. Tonight, the 7th D is going to be Tucker Ness. So last night it was Josh Niedermeyer who slotted into the lineup. He will be out tonight. Tucker Ness takes his spot. Gibson Homer with the start in net. For Miami, just one change. Sullivan, their fourth line forward, will be out tonight. Ryan Sullivan out of UMass, the transfer. He's out, and in will be Zane Dempsey. So Miami is playing 8 defensemen tonight and only 11 forwards. So mostly a 3 forward line set. They'll rotate a left wing in with Daskus and Lagerback at the bottom. Lagerback with his first point of the season against the Sun Devils, so a little bit of payback for him last night. Dempsey and Drasner, the final pairing. For Miami, we'll go down their lineup from forwards to D. So we'll start with the first line, Barbolini, Vitalins, and Waldron. They stay together. Waldron with the overtime winner last night. Dukovac, Haleen, and Taransky, the second line. Fletcher, Mesenberg, and Sullivan is in on the third line. Daskus and Lagerback on the fourth line. So the player that played last night, who's not in tonight, is Braden Morrison. Morrison is out tonight. Sullivan in on the third line. On defense, Moulton and Clement stay together. Clement, the captain of this Red Hawks team. Feenstra and Kumlin, same thing. Cox and Rydquist, it's the same 6D as yesterday. Drasner was the 7th D. Now he'll get a partner in Zane Dempsey, who slots in as the 8th D tonight. And Neaton in net, like we mentioned before. Supposed to be a 7:15 puck drop tonight in just about 13 or so minutes. We'll give you more updates as we go along. Dylan Pescator here on Blaze Radio for some Sun Devil hockey in Miami, Ohio. All right, the ice is clean. The starting lineups have been announced, and the national anthem is complete. We're almost ready. We're a minute away from Game 2 between the Red Hawks and the Sun Devils getting underway. So let's start with the starting lineups, and we'll start with the home Red Hawks. They start their first line just like last night. Matthew Barbolini, Raymond Vitolins, and John Waldron from left wing to right wing. On D, it's Dylan Moulton and Jack Clement. The captain, Logan Neaton, their starting goaltender. For the Sun Devils, they combat with their top line and their top D pairing. Lucas Sillinger, Ty Jackson, and Dylan Jackson. Ty getting his first goal of the season last night in his third game of work. Brandon Taubekin and Tim Lovell on D, and Gibson Homer getting his first collegiate start with the Sun Devils. Period, we should say. But his second season with the Sun Devils, he gets his first start. The Sun Devils in their black jerseys with a maroon patch on the shoulders, gold pants, a gold and maroon pitchfork across their chest, and gold numbers and letters on the back. For Miami, it's almost a pinstripe white jersey with very faint black pinstripes across the center going up and down vertically, and red numbers across the back, and a red Miami across the center. A fresh 20 on the clock, and at 7:14, we are off and running in Game 2 between Miami and the Sun Devils. The Red Hawks win the face-off. It's Moulton to Clement in their own zone on the near side. Clement will get to the red and dock it on in. Taubekin takes it at the circle. Now Lovell behind Homer, getting his first action on the road in Oxford, Ohio. Skating to the red and dumping it on in is Jackson, played by Neaton behind the net, picked up by Clement, who backhands it in front off the skate of Vitolins. Can't get it out, kept in by Dylan Jackson across the far wall. To retrieve it is Barbolini. Almost turns it over in his own zone, and the first penalty of the day is coming up against the Sun Devils and Dylan Jackson. Into the zone is Barbolini. Still no touch from the Sun Devils in front of Vitolins and taken off his stick by Taubekin in the middle of the ice. The call is a hook. We'll see who's getting sent to the box. It is Dylan Jackson. So just 44 seconds into the first period, Miami will be going to the power play. Last night, the Red Hawks were 1 for 2. They had their power play goal on the third goal of the game. Their second of the 3 goals in the third period off the stick of Raymond Vitolins. Face-off will take place in the far side circle in the Miami offensive zone. It's Chambers and Helene in the dots for their respective teams. Miami had a first period power play yesterday, a 5-minute call against Kyle Smolin that they couldn't do anything with. Miami wins the draw. Murchison takes it away in his own zone and will dump it all the way down to the left of Neaton. Chambers, Murchison, Schmaggy, and Tyler Gratton start the PK unit for ASU. The Red Hawks take it along the left side. Now they'll go back toward the logo, and into the zone comes Dukovac. He'll turn on the near side, take it from Murchison. Chambers looking to take it off his stick. It jumps out to Schmaggy at the goal line, who tried the other side, the far side. Kumlin kept it at the blue line. Schmaggy takes it away from Taransky. Still can't get it out. Kept in by Kumlin once more at the blue. Ryquist at the top. Now to Dukovac at the near side circle. He'll turn and switch at Ryquist, who now is at the circle with the puck. Down low, Dukovac. Now Ryquist at the top waiting for it. He'll take it at the top. He'll shoot. It goes wide. Looking for a tip from Taransky, who is right in front. Kumlin keeps it in. Down low on the far side. Taransky will hold at the half wall. Now at the top, Ryquist. Back to Kumlin at the top of the far circle. Will shoot, looking for a tip from Helene. Didn't get it. Goes wide. Kept in by Dukovac at the near side half wall. A minute and 10 already gone in the power play for the Red Hawks. No shots on net. Kumlin at the top. Now to Ryquist, who will switch spots. Kumlin, Dukovac at the near side circle. Down low to Helene. Helene at the top, Ryquist. Back to Helene at the half wall near side. Dukovac at the top of the left circle. Will wait. Still looking. Shoots. Blocked off the skate of Schmaggy and blocked all the way down by Chambers, who will knock it in on Neaton, who will play it behind his net. 20 seconds to go in the penalty against Dylan Jackson for hooking. And no shots on net so far for the Red Hawks. Spencer Cox off the bench in the second unit. Gets some time for the Red Hawks. Schmaggy takes it right away and will knock it on down. Neaton plays it behind his own net. 5 seconds until Jackson comes out of the box. 17-17 left to go in the first period. Vitolins across the red into the offensive zone with the help of Barbolini, who takes a hit from Tucker Ness. Niedermeyer knocks off his man. Smolin looked to clear it out, had a bad bounce off the boards. Out of the box is Jackson. We're back to even strength. The Sun Devils get a clear to neutral ice. Successful PK, no shots on net for either team so far in this game. Cox takes it in his own zone, goes past Smolin, gets knocked down in the process, finds a man in Waldron who had the OT winner in last night's 5-4 win, taken away by Ness, and the Sun Devils put it out toward neutral ice. Looking for Mesenberg was the defenseman. Feenstra got his first point of the season, turned it over Alex Young into the offensive zone. Young at the top will shoot on net, save by Neaton. The rebound still in the paint. Smolin looking for it, still loose, and it pops out front. Kyle Smolin with a goal last night. He's known as being gritty, and he was right there. Tabakin right back into the zone with the help of Smolin. Tabakin in deep. On the backhand along the near side wall. Turned it over to Drasner, who will find Feenstra behind the goal line, looking to flip it out, and he does. Copperwood takes it right back. Dowd goes to Tabakin along the near wall, right in front of the Miami bench. Will knock it on in and use the track. Turned it over to Dowd, who's pinched up on the play, then turned it over. Mesenberg for the Redhawks into the offensive zone along the far side, puts his first shot in on Gibson Homer, and now the net comes off as Homer, who is all of 6'5" and 215 pounds, reached up to block a short side shot, and the net comes off in the process. So 1 for 1 is Gibson Homer on his very, very, very young college career. The puck goes out of play, and the face-off will be in the near side circle. Helene thinks it's in the far side circle. The officials are confirming what they saw as the puck went out of play on the rebound chance for Mesenberg. 15:50 to go in the first period. Face-off in the near side circle. Alexander and the second line for ASU getting some run on their first shift. Sun Devils win the draw. Dowd takes it behind Homer and will go along the far side wall. Now cutting in across the logo, and will dump it on in, going for a change. Him and Alexander getting some fresh legs on the ice. Behind his own net is Clement. Taransky at the near side finds Dempsey. The 7th D tonight didn't play last night, and Dempsey clears it down but didn't get the red line, icing the call, and the faceoff will come all the way back down to the Sun Devils' offensive zone. Last night, a true heartbreaker for ASU. Up 4-1 in the third period with 13 minutes to go. Gave up 3 straight at the end of that third and final frame. Eventually lost the game 5-4 in overtime on an OT winner by John Waldron. Waldron has been very good for this Redhawks team so far. 8 points in the first 5 games. Off the draw, the Sun Devils actually won it, but Taransky took it right back. At the red line, he turns it over to Shane. Now Chambers looking to get it back to Shane. Turned it over in front of the Miami bench. Taransky and Chambers still looking for the puck. Who has it? Clement does. Clement finds Helene, who dodged into the offensive zone right back in the middle. On the far side, he will dump it on in. Pass to Tabakin. Kumlin keeps it in the zone on the forehand. At the near wall, Taransky at the half wall. Go back to Kumlin at the blue line. Makes a few moves on Grattan, looking for a give and go. Almost turned it over to Shane, who was one-on-one with Neaton if he could control the puck. Kumlin in his own zone to Moulton, who will take it on the backhand across the red line right in the middle of the ice. And now we have an offside play. No, it's going to be a penalty. It's going to be a slash against Miami. It was Moulton who was trying to go into the offensive zone, but all the Sun Devils saw what was going on, and they're going to send Daskis, the fourth line center, to the box. Power play for the Sun Devils with 14:53 to go in the first period. Their first chance of the night on the man advantage after going 1 for 3 last night. Alex Young with the only power play goal for ASU in Friday night's affair. Chambers, Jackson tie, that is, with Copperwood, Sillinger, and Lovell on the power play unit. Miami wins the draw, and out comes Waldron, who will get the red, not that it matters, being shorthanded, and dump it on in. Homer plays the puck, makes it past Waldron, and almost turns it over. It finds the stick of Sillinger. Now Copperwood across the logo into the offensive zone. Copperwood at the half wall. Goes to the other side, the near side, to Sillinger. Kept in by Lovell on the near side blue line. Lovell down deep looking for Chambers. Goes past him. Finds Copperwood at the half wall. Couldn't backhand it forward. Turned over to Barbolini, whose centering pass for Waldron was turned over. And then Sillinger turned it right back over to Waldron, who will dump it on in. 35 seconds gone in the power play. Lovell takes it along the far side. Will dump it on back for Chambers and now Jackson. The breakout is successful as Copperwood gets it in the offensive zone. Clement behind his own net, looking to dump it out behind the wall. Sillinger keeps it in the near side blue line. Now level at the top, down to Copperwood in the left side far circle. Fakes the slap shot, is level to Sillinger. Now down low, Chambers. Takes it on the back end behind Neaton. Will backhand it to the far side. Level keeps it into blue and then turned it over and sticked right on out by Sullivan, who will take it himself and dump it on in and go for a change. No shots on the power play for ASU so far. 43 seconds to go in the man advantage. Sillinger right into the offensive zone in the middle. Goes to the far wall where Alex Young picks it up. Young at the far wall, half wall. Dowd at the top. Anthony Dowd, the freshman, quarterbacking this power play. Young at the far side circle. Down to Grattan at the goal line. Back to Young, who will take it on the backhand, create some time. 22 seconds to go in the man advantage. Down low to Grattan behind the net. In front, looking for Jackson. He finds Young at the far side blue line. To Dowd at the near side. Dowd, a smooth skater to the center. Now Jackson at the far side. Schmaggy right off the bench. Finds Dowd. Now in front, looking for Young, who's passed to Jackson. Went off his skate, and Miami gets the full clear. 2-1 out of the box comes Daskis. Both teams unsuccessful on their first power play opportunities. Back to even strength, 12:45 to go in the first period. Sun Devils in the offensive zone once more. Here's that fourth line. Smolin gets it out to the top. Schmaggy in the middle. His shot blocked down behind the glass. O'Reilly to Merchant at the near side. To Schmaggy at the far side. Big slap shot and a save by Neaton as he came out into the blue crease and caught it right at the Miami logo. 12:30 to go in the first period. Ethan Schmaggy with the third shot on goal for ASU so far. We'll be right back. 12:30 to go in the first period of a scoreless game on Saturday night. Back here on Blaze Radio, 12:30 to go in the first period. Sun Devils lead 3-1 in shots on net. Ice is all broomed away, all cleaned up for what they can do. 7:30 gone in the first period. Both teams with a power play opportunity, but both teams unsuccessful as we are still scoreless here in the first period. The faceoff will take place in the far side faceoff dot. In the Sun Devil offensive zone, Smolin, O'Reilly, and Eckerly, the offensive forward set for ASU with Murchison and Schmaggy on the back end. A small pause by the official before he's going to knock it down. Face-off won by Smolin as he goes down to a knee. Near side, Murchison at the blue line. Shot goes wide to the short side of Neaton, picked up by Miami. And Dukovac, who gets taken down in neutral ice. Arm is up. Eckerly, who is going to the box. Only 2 penalties against the Sun Devils last night. A 5-minute major against Kyle Smolin and then a 2-minute tripping call later in that third period. So far, just under 8 minutes gone in the first period, and the Sun Devils have committed their second penalty of the game. Benji Eckerly to the box for tripping. Miami back to the power play after a shotless first opportunity. Face-off in the near side face-off dot in the Sun Devil defensive zone. 12:18 to go in the first period. Miami only with 1 shot on net against Gibson Homer in his first collegiate start. Redhawks win the draw back to Cox in the center at the blue line. Cox will go over to Barbolini at the half wall. All the way back to the blue line. Waldron at the near side at the top of the circle. Will circle with it. Cox at the top with it. Shoots. It got blocked in front off the stick of Barbolini and cleared out of play. Deflected off the stick of Niedermeyer. And Barbolini. Face-off will stick in the Miami offensive zone. 17 seconds gone in the man advantage. Eckerly in the box. 12 minutes flat to go in the first period. Chambers lines up for the faceoff once more, was not happy with the warning he was just given by the officials. He'll have to step out and step right back in. Him and Fletcher go to battle. Fletcher wins the draw. Cox at the far side blue line picks it up. Moves to the center. Down low in the bumper position for Fletcher, looking for Waldron on a short pass, picked off by Grattan, who can't get it out in the first try. Waldron just keeps it in with Cox, but then the stick of Chambers knocks it out of the offensive zone to neutral ice. Cox to the far side red line will look to enter once more. Short pass to Barbolini, who will skate to the center. Barbolini over to Waldron at the circle. Drag, shoots, it goes wide. High and wide of the blocker side of Homer, and caroms all the way out of the zone, back to the Miami defensive zone. A minute to 10 to go on the Eckerly penalty. Chambers on the forecheck along with Smolin. Cox behind his own net starts the rush for Miami to Vitolins, who enters the offensive zone right down the middle. He will skate toward the far side blue line, pass in the middle. The Cox goes wide. Schmaggy knocks it all the way down, and Neaton will come out of his net to play it. Neaton backhands it to Vitolins at the near side goal line. Now down to Cox behind Neaton. Sun Devils with a full change. They send out Merchant, Schmaggy, Chambers, and Alexander. 39 seconds to go in the penalty against Eckerly. Into the zone is Dukovac along the far side. Will try to go near side around the track. Chambers takes his man down along the half wall. Merchant loses it. Dukovac looking to put it in deeper. 25 seconds left in the man advantage. A scrum along the near side goal line. Coming out of it is Kuhlman along the far side blue line. Goes past Alexander, went down to a knee, down to Barbolini. Now at the top is Ryquist. Will fake the shot over to Dukovac, whose big one-timer was blocked by Murchison, and down below the goal line. Still not out. Schmaggy tries the other side, kept in by Ryquist with 5 seconds to go in the Eckerly penalty. Dukovac at the near side blue line. Back at the top, Ryquist. Big one-timer goes wide. Dukovac at the half wall. Out of the box is Eckerly. Alexander picks up the loose puck. Can't clear it down as he was looking for Eckerly on the breakaway pass. Right back in goes Miami. Dukovac at the far side blue line. Goes past Alexander. Goes past another to the net. Net gets knocked off. Puck stays out as Eckerly was keeping Dukovac from going right into Homer. 10:02 to go in the first period. And Miami once again unsuccessful in the power play and once again with no shots on net. Miami thought that the faceoff would take place in their offensive zone. They determined that the puck went off of Dukovac, so it comes back to the neutral zone, still in the Miami offensive side of the red line. On the far side, one try, puck isn't dropped. It's Smolin going along with Mesenberg, the sophomore and the freshman, respectively. The sophomore Mesenberg wins it back for Miami. Drasner at the near side red line dumps it into the open corner on the far side. Levels tried to get it out, is unsuccessful, but Level backs up and gets it once more. He rebounds to get it out. Miami along the near side into the offensive zone in Mesenberg. Tried the backhand to keep it in play. He does. Down to Drasner in front on the other side. Shot taken. It's blocked as diving in front was Smolin. Getting right back in front as Feenstra took the initial shot and tried it once more. Down low, Vitolins over to Fletcher. In front, they score from the circle and in. Drasner, 1-0 Miami. Robbie Drasner, with just 4 goals in 86 career collegiate hockey games, gets number 5, his first of the season. And Drasner gets Miami on the board with 9:24 to go in the first period. Just their second shot of the night goes far side from the far circle, past the glove of Homer, and then the back of the net. Sun Devils give up the first goal tonight after scoring the first goal last night. And the Redhawks win the draw as well. Clement along the near side in the defensive zone gets the tip in at the near side from Daskis. Homer will play it. Continues it along. Niedermeyer, Sillinger can't get it out. Kept in by Clement. The captain, Jack Clement, a graduate student who's here for his 5th season in Oxford, Ohio. Centering pass for Sillinger was taken away. Lagerback puts it right in on Homer. A bouncing puck that he had to collect and hold. 8:55 to go in the first period and a whistle. Drasner gets the goal. Assist goes to Feenstra for Miami. Face off in the near side circle. Sun Devils down 1-0 with 8:55 to go in period number 1. It's the top line for Miami, Ohio. Vitolins wins the draw, but the official points to his chest. This time it's Chris Williams who is dropping the puck. He says, let's do it over again. The clock will reset, players will reset, and we'll do it once more. Chambers, Gratton, and Shane for ASU. Vitolins wins it back, and we're going to do it one more time as Williams, the official, raises his hands and says somebody jumped early. Let's see if third time's the charm. It is. This time the Sun Devils win it. Waldron actually gets to the puck first as it was in the near side corner. Gratton will exit the zone with Shane, who turned it right back over. Murchison picks up the loose puck on the far side. Blue line will dump it on in. Now at the near side, Waldron looking to break it out. It found the leg of Gratton, who lost it. Picked up by Dempsey. The breakaway pass right in the middle. Schmaggy picks it off. In the far side circle, Ethan Schmaggy now at the goal line, centering pass, no one home. Picked up Shane along the near side. Murchison's big one-timer was blocked. Dempsey in the corner with Ryquist. Will break it out. Skating along the near side is Barbolini in front of his bench, the ASU bench, into the offensive zone. Shot from afar and a blocker save by Homer. Rebound goes to the far side. Chambers dashing to keep it in the Miami offensive zone and hoping to get his forward set a change, and he does. Long pass to Vitolins along the far side. Drop pass for Dukovac, who will dump it in. Homer looked to play it. Tabakin is back and will skate into it along the near side in front of his own bench. Past the red, past the blue into the offensive zone. Shot from a far angle, and Neaton raises the shoulder and knocks it out of play. Brandon Tabakin, the graduate transfer from Yale, an Ivy League guy. Coach Powers has said he's smart. He's a great puck mover, and, well, I think you have to be smart when you're coming from the Ivy League, right? 4 years at Yale, and now his final year at Arizona State. In the near side circle, Alexander loses the offensive zone draw. Feenstra for Miami behind his own net to the far side. Back to Kuhlman, back to the far side. Dukovac into the offensive zone. Pass Young, watched closely by Lovell. Dukovac will circle the net. He leaves it behind, looking for Helene. Helene picks it up behind Homer on the backhand. Turned it right over to Alex Young, who will skate out of the defensive zone. Young to the red. Circles it around. Kuhlman got it past Copperwood, and Helene picks it up in neutral ice. Past the red line on the near side to the blue. Almost turned it over. Fletcher picks it up in the slot. Over it for Feenstra. In front, and it went off the pad of Homer as Young takes a big hit and couldn't clear it out of the zone. Moulton keeps it in. Terensky now Helene at the top. To Fletcher, whose shot was blocked by Alexander. Picked up by Niedermeyer behind his own net. Will break it out with the help of Young along the far side wall. Alex Young taking a big hit in the defensive zone. Got up, and Sillinger puts a soft shot into the glove of Neaton from the near side blue line. Gets the whistle. 7:03 to go in the first period. Miami up 1-0. Face-off takes place in the near side circle. Jackson, and Sillinger, with Murchison and Schmaggy on the back end for ASU. Ty wins a draw. Dylan's shot off the draw was blocked. Goes back to Murchison, whose shot from the blue is blocked by Sullivan. Another shot and another block from Sullivan, and then he takes out Murchison for even more better measure. Sillinger from a knee gets it back down near side. Murchison, big slap shot goes wide of the short side of Neaton along the ice. Fletcher will break it out with the help of Clement. A strong, energetic shift for ASU, but no shots reaching Neaton as Murchison has his shot blocked twice. Ty Murchison, the Philadelphia Flyers draft pick, gets it along to Dylan Jackson, far side, looking for the tip in front. Ty Jackson pass in front of him. At the near side, Sillinger couldn't pick it up. Ty Jackson taking off the puck. Dylan Jackson centering pass, goes all the way back to the blue. Level at the near side, goes to the far side. Schmaggy back to Level at the top. At the blue line, Level's soft shot was blocked by his own man, Ty Jackson, and then knocked out of the zone by Dukovac. Level will go past Lagerbach, the former Sun Devil, for 1 year and then transferred to Miami this past offseason. Loose puck picked up by Drasder in his own zone. He'll circle the goal line. 5:55 to go in period number 1. Dukovac in the offensive zone on the far side, but he went in just a little bit too late as Lagerbach took a step over the blue line just a little bit too early. Offside the call. 5:50 to go in the first period. ASU leads in shot 6-4, but Miami leads on the scoreboard 1-0. We'll be right back here on Blaze Radio. ASU down 1. I explained this yesterday, but for those who were not listening in to game one of the series, at the first ice break, or the second ice break of the first period, here in Ohio, what would you say? The famous food is called Skyline Chili. It's also a restaurant, and it's apparently not even chili. It's meat sauce and whatever it may be. I'm not one to try it. I'm usually open to new foods. This time, not so much. So the Skyline Chili is the most famous restaurant here in the Ohio area. They go up to the catwalks here at Goggin Ice Arena and let down parachutes with gift cards to the restaurant of Skyline Chili. So 5:50 to go in the first period. Puck's down in the neutral zone. ASU wins the draw with Kyle Smolin. Standing behind his own net is Level, and he'll come out along the near side. Miami up 1-0 on the goal by Robbie Drasner right in the middle of period number one. Dump and attempt picked off by Neaton, the goaltender, who comes out of his zone, tries the far side wall, kept in by Eckerly with the help of Smolin. The goal scorer, Drasner, will try the near side with the help of Ryquist, his defensive partner, and Miami successfully breaks out. Waldron in the neutral zone along the near side in front of the ASU bench. It pops into the ASU bench as he was trying to find Vitalins. An ASU coaching staff that definitely could not be happy after last night's performance. A pit in their stomach. You always want to win a game on the road. You want to win any game, period. But having a 4-1 lead, not only with it being on the road, with ASU having such limited road possibilities this season, road wins, of course, help ASU in the pairwise standings getting to a higher ranking. They lose the game 5-4 after being up 4-1 with 13 minutes to go in the third period. Sun Devils win the draw. Grattan dumps it in along the near side. Dukovac along the far side looked to pick up the puck. Ness pinches in from the blue line to take it away. Shane at the goal line goes back to the blue line. Dowd, who steps to the center. A few head fakes from Anthony Dowd, the freshman, who had an assist on last night's fourth goal to Alex Young. He set up the entire play. Picked off Helene, who comes the other way. 2-on-1 from Miami. Helene in the circle. His shot blocked by Ness, who had a strong effort on the back check, and then Ness is taken down by Helene behind Homer. Helene comes out of the group with it. Feenstra to the top. Kumlin caught up in his skates. Shot didn't make it all the way to Homer. Picked up by Dowd, and out comes the Sun Devils. Shane in the center of the ice to Grattan along the near side. Caught up in his skates, caught up in Shane's skates, and eventually Helene gets control. He dumps it back to Kumlin behind his own net. 4:30 to go in period number one. Miami up 1-0. Helene across the red will dump it in. Homer, who just touched it with his stick, gets it to Schmaggy. Behind his own net, Schmaggy and the Sun Devils get a full forward change. To Ty Murchison across the red in the center of the ice to the far side. Alexander dashing down the far side. Backhand try goes wide of the blue crease. Kept in by Schmaggy along the near side blue line. Alex Young on the forecheck. Couldn't get it past Jack Clement, who picks it off, and Mesenberg uses the glass along the far side to get it out. Schmaggy to Copperu. Did he reach the red line? He did on the dump-in. Along the near side, Miami's Moulton tries the far side wall. He did get a tip, and the referees signal safe, as in you're watching a baseball game like the World Series last night, negating the offside. Behind his own net is Schmaggy to Murchison along the near side at the blue line. Copperud picked it up at the red line, but then caught up in his skates. 3:30 to go in period number one. Alexander behind Homer will come out from the far side along the blue to the red and dumps it on in. Neaton thought it was icing. Didn't matter as Drasner picks up the loose puck to Barbolini. Couldn't get it out. Big slap shot, Tabakin, and a blocker save by Neaton into the near side corner as Barbolini almost put it in front and into his own net, but off the skate of Dempsey and into safer travels. Drasner along the near side to the red line into the offensive zone. Already has one tonight. His fifth goal of his collegiate career of 87 games. Barbolini along the far side half wall to Waldron at the blue line. Is Dempsey now near side. Drasner's shot was blocked away by Tabakin, and Jackson just skated it out past the blue line. The Redhawks are going to come right back in with Dempsey. Tabakin's clearing attempt didn't come out. Barbolini picks it up. Tabakin takes him right off the puck and gets Sillinger some time and space. Centering pass for Jackson, who is laid out in center ice. It was a cross-ice pass to Dylan Jackson, who's already been knocked down once today as Sillinger's shot goes up and out of play. He gets knocked down once more along the far side in the neutral zone. That was Spencer Cox laying the big hit, the transfer from Long Island University. Face off along the far side in the Sun Devils offensive zone. Dylan Jackson, who has took big hits this season gets two big ones tonight already with 2:21 to go in just the first period. It's the fourth line for ASU in the offensive zone draw. Smolin taking it against Helene. Face-off won by the freshman Kyle Smolin. Back to the blue. Ness along the far side. Now near side Niedermeyer. Puts it along the glass. O'Reilly behind the goalie Neaton. Cox lays a hit into him. O'Reilly just a little bit bigger than Dylan Jackson. O'Reilly a big body. 215 pounds, standing at 6'3". Red Hawks take possession of a loose puck. Long alley-oop pass for Taransky. Couldn't catch up to it, but does negate the icing. Dukovac on the far side goal line. Now goes behind the goalie, Homer. Will come out at the near side. Still with it, Dukovac with 13 on his back. Back to the top, near side, blue line, Kumlin. Soft shot goes wide of the short side of Homer, right along the ice. It flutters to O'Reilly, who took his time, lost the puck, and then the flip out by Tucker Ness to neutral ice finds Kumlin. 1:33 to go in period number one. Feenstra's clearing attempt. Tucker Ness looking to lay a hit on Taransky, but Taransky gave it right back to him in neutral ice. Sun Devils take advantage. Smolin looking for the tip from Grattan, and he does get it. Goes for a change in the process. Kumlin gets to the puck behind Neaton before Shane does. Murchison picks up the loose puck in neutral ice. Schmaggy to Chambers, who will backhand it in. Behind Neaton, Grattan lays a big hit before the puck was even close. That's interference right by the book. Tyler Grattan, who stands at a very tall 6'2", 200 pounds, the captain of the Sun Devil team, was jousting for position heading into the near side corner on the dump-in attempt by Chambers, along with Kumlin, who was not 6'2", 200 pounds, 6'1", and 190. Grattan takes the interference call. So with 1:04 to go in the first period, Miami back to the power play for the third time tonight. Their third chance on the man advantage. They only had two all of last night's game. 1-0 the score with Miami in front. They were unsuccessful, however, on both power plays so far, both with no shots. Face off in the near side offensive zone of Miami. Smolin takes the loose puck and knocks it all the way down. Under a minute to go in period number one. Miami up 1-0 on the goal by Robbie Drasner, the senior out of Illinois. Spencer Cox will skate it out past his goalie Neaton. Slingshots it back for Vitolins, who gets past Eckerly into the offensive zone right in the middle of the ice. Over to Fletcher, near side half wall to Cox at the blue line, using his body to shield it away from Eckerly. Far side Barbaloni in the circle. Drops it for Vitolins with 30 seconds to go in period number one. Cox at the top to Vitolins in the far side circle, who turns with it over to Waldron, near side circle, down to Barbalini, who moves, loses it in his skates, takes hit from Tabakin. Kept in by Cox one time. Eckerly knocks it out the second time as it jumped away from Waldron. 15 seconds to go in period number one. Cox comes all the way back behind Neaton, and with 10 seconds to go, we'll have to go 200 feet. He's gone past 100, now in the offensive zone with 5. Over to Waldron. Fletcher in the offensive zone and knocks off his skate into neutral ice, and that'll take us to the end of period number one. 1-0 Miami in front. Robbie Drasner with the only goal of the game, and only 4 shots on net for Miami in that period, 6 for ASU. Sun Devils have a little bit of a gripe at the end of this period. It was Tucker Ness who really wasn't happy with some Red Hawks. He let the official know about it, who directed Ness right to the locker room. So Miami comes along the near side into their locker room. Sun Devils use the far side, even though they have to come all the way across the rink to their locker room, which is on the near side. I guess it makes sense. It's just how the arena works. So a full intermission of 15 minutes. We'll be back then. But 1-0 Miami in front. Robbie Drasner with the goal, his first goal of the season. 4 shots for Miami on net. ASU with 6. 1-0 Redhawks at the end of 1. We'll be back here on Blaze Radio for period number 2 in just about 15 minutes. Stay with us. All right, first period in the books between the Sun Devils and the Red Hawks with only one goal being scored. That was by Robbie Drasner with 10:36 to go in period number 1. Drasner with goal number 1 on the season. For him, 5th goal overall in his collegiate career. Assists go to P.J. Fletcher and Michael Feenstra. Feenstra got his first point of the season last night and now matches it with another point tonight. 1-0 Miami, and not a lot of shots from either team. You had 6 by ASU, only 4 by Miami, Ohio. Power plays in favor of Miami with 3, and they still have 56 seconds on the power play clock to start this second period. ASU going 0 for 1. So 3 penalties for ASU already when you're talking about the end of this 56 seconds. They only had 2 last night, including a 5-minute major to Kyle Smolin. Gibson Homer only had to make 3, tried to make 4, but only made 3 saves in that first period. The goal by Drasner from the circle went above his glove and in the back of the net. So we'll switch sides. Sun Devils now will be shooting to the right and Red Hawks shooting to the left. About a minute to go until we start period number 2 at the gorgeous Goggin Ice Arena here in Oxford, Ohio. You always think about history and great hockey arenas. This is a program that has a lot of history. When you look at the banners who are actually right in front of me up here in the press box, this team went all the way to the championship in 2009 and lost to Boston University. Actually, blew a 2-goal lead in the final 2 minutes, lost that game in overtime. Colby Cohen, who is now actually on ESPN doing college hockey, he scored the overtime winner for the Boston University Terriers. And then the year after, 2010, Miami went back to the Frozen Four. They lost in the semifinals of that year. Multiple tournament appearances. Last tournament appearance was 2015. This will be a tournament or a conference foe for ASU in the near future. They'll be joining the NCHC next season. So period 1 down, period 2 about to begin. Sun Devils will start with Smolin, Eckerly, Schmaggy, and Murchison on the PK. Puck is down, period 2 underway, and Eckerly carries it after the faceoff win into the Miami offensive zone, looking to kill some time. Cox behind his own net picks it up for the Red Hawks as they look to capitalize on the power play. They haven't so far tonight. This is their 3rd opportunity. Into the zone is Vitalen, so Barbolini at the near side half wall, now at the top Cox, far side Fletcher, who fans on the pass, back to the top Cox, watched by Smolin. Fletcher at the circle, moves to the center, Vitalen's at the near side circle, pass across, Barbolini in front to Waldron, had Homer going back and forth, but the pass was behind Barbolini. Barbolini far side, Fletcher at the circle, taken down by Murchison. Schmaggy skates into the loose puck and will knock it all the way down. 10 seconds to go in the penalty against Tyler Gratton for interference. Sun Devils get a full change. They get on Alexander, Chambers, Niedermeyer, and Dowd. Waldron carries in the neutral zone, looking to break it in. Out of the box comes Gratton. Puck comes right to him through his skates. Alexander just knocks it slowly into the Miami defensive zone, picked up by Kuhlman, far side, near side Cox. Turns it over to Ryan Alexander on the forecheck. Alexander all alone with Kuhlman watching him. Feeds a cutting Chambers, who put his backhand well wide. Far side, Niedermeyer, his shot blocked away by Waldron, came right back to him, clearing attempt on the dump-in, went right into the skate of Helene, who turned it right back over to Alexander. Gratton's big backhand try goes wide to the far side of Neaton off the back wall. Out of the box is Gratton, like we said. A successful PK for ASU so far, 3 for 3, short-handed. Tip by Shane into the offensive zone. Chambers has Gratton cutting toward net in front. Gratton, he just put it wide. A wide open net for Tyler Gratton. All he had was net in front of him, in front for Shane, and a big save for Neaton. Shane one-on-one with the goaltender, and he couldn't put it home, and then misses on a big hit in front of his bench. 2 great A opportunities for the Sun Devils, and they couldn't put it home. Sillinger breaks it out. Dylan Jackson, Ty cutting toward the net. Dylan into the offensive zone. His shot blocked in front. Sillinger scores! Loose puck, Lucas Sillinger. Goal last night, goal tonight, tie game. Just 2:11 gone in the second period, and Lucas Sillinger has his 3rd goal of the season. Ties us up at 1. Dylan Jackson's shot was fanned on. The loose puck came right to Sillinger in the slot, and he put it to the glove side of Neaton to tie us up. Miami wins the draw at center ice and gets it on out. Sun Devils must be thinking third time's a charm. You had Gratton, who missed the open net on the 2-on-1 with Chambers, and then Shane, who was 1-on-1 with the goaltender Neaton, couldn't get it past him. Third chance Sillinger, and they do. They tie it up at 1 here in Game 2 of the 2 games set this weekend. Clement in the neutral zone knocks it behind Homer, past Lovell on the near side wall. Far side at the circle is Fletcher in the offensive zone for Miami. Sullivan, the UMass transfer, tried to take it away from Lovell. Far side Tabakin gets it out with the help of Sillinger. Cross ice pass Lovell, near side wall. Drop pass for Dylan Jackson. Pass to the back corner, looking for his brother Ty. Couldn't find him. Big slap shot. Murchison off the crossbar. Right at the top, Ty Murchison gets iron, as the Sun Devils were inches away from taking the lead. Into the zone, Red Hawks. Waldron gets it taken off his stick by Murchison. Kept it at the near side blue line. Drasner rebound off the stick of Homer after the big shot, and Barbolini couldn't put it home. The stick of Lovell in his way. Lovell's clearing attempt, helped by Jackson into neutral ice. 16:30 to go in period number 2. Copperud taken down in the ASU offensive zone by Reichquist. It'll be a trip, and the Sun Devils have started to turn the table. They are going to the power play. Fans here at the Goggin Ice Arena not happy and voicing their displeasure with the call by the officials. 1-1 the score with 16:27 to go. To the box is Reichquist for tripping. 2-minute power play for ASU. Their second of the night. They'll send out Gratton, Shane, Dylan Jackson, Anthony Dowd, and Alex Young. The second unit gets started for the Sun Devils. Last night, ASU was 1 for 3 on the power play. So far tonight, 0 for 1. Sun Devils win the draw. Dowd, far side blue line, near side blue line. Young back at the top. Anthony Dowd, the freshman, quarterbacking the second unit. Far side circle, Shane, right back to Dowd at the top. Near side, Young at the circle, down low for Gratton. Right back to the top, Dowd, still passing along. Soft shot in front, and the save by Neaton directed to the corner. Looking for Jackson on the tip. Near side, circle, Young back to the top, Dowd. He was a power play specialist. Young was on Colgate. Young shot saved by Neaton. Rebound in front, still loose. A positional save by Neaton as his pad was in front, and Dylan Jackson couldn't put it through, and the clearing attempt goes past Anthony Dowd. 3 or 4 grade A opportunities for the Sun Devils in this second period, and they've only gotten 1 to go in the back of the net off the stick of Lucas Sillinger. They put it into the offensive zone, near side goal line. Alex Young, 3 Red Hawks taking him off the puck, kept in by Shane, far side circle. Shane down low, Young looking for Jackson in the bumper position. Waldron puts it off the wall and out. Down to Homer, 55 seconds to go in the penalty against Reichquist. The first unit of the power play now out for ASU. Chambers off his stick in the defensive zone of ASU. Mesenberg takes it away in front. Sullivan, who knocked it above Homer's crossbar along with his head. He stands well above the crossbar at 6'5". Does Gibson. Homer, the redshirt sophomore goaltender, in his first collegiate start. Sun Devils knock it in. Kumlin can't get it out. Kept in by Sillinger, far side blue line. 30 seconds to go in the man advantage. Level near side blue line. Gets it down to Jackson at the half wall. Back at the top level. Far side Sillinger at the circle. Back at the top level. Big shot goes off the post. Kept in by ASU. Copperwood. Lovell now lays one on net, and it goes out of play off a stick. 2 times have the Sun Devils hit the iron in this young second period. 14:41 to go. Murchison hit the crossbar, and Lovell hits the post. Sillinger already putting one past Neaton in this period. 14 seconds to go in the man advantage. It'll be a combination of the first and second unit for ASU. You have 7 guys on the ice. Now you have 6 guys on the ice. Dowd comes on. Sillinger's coming off. Lovell seems to be staying on. Yes, he is. So it's Lovell, Dowd, along with Copperud, Chambers, and Ty Jackson taking the draw. On the far side circle in the offensive zone. Jackson wins it back to Dowd. Far side blue line, now near side blue line Lovell. 10 seconds to go in the man advantage. Big slap shot by Dowd. He faked on it. Dowd down low, goal line. Chambers back to Dowd. Far side blue line, near side blue line Lovell. His shot was blocked by Clement. Rebound came to Copperud, who put it wide. Out of the box is Reichquist. Picked off by Miami. Here comes Dylan Moulton across the center of the ice to Reichquist. Right out of the box. Far side looking to center it pass as cutting toward the net was Barbolini, but Lovell's stick got in the way. Homer directed it behind. The Sun Devils now take advantage as Miami touches up on the delayed offside. Level in his own zone. Sun Devils have really come out hot in the first 6 minutes of the second period. Moulton behind his own goaltender to Clement, who tries the far side wall and gets past the blue, gets to the red, and looks to dump it in. Couldn't get it past Level. O'Reilly to Eckerly across the red, far side into the offensive zone. Eckerly stops at the goal line, past Clement, putting it into the near side corner. O'Reilly and Smolin go to battle with two Red Hawks. Smolin still looking to keep it in the offensive zone at the half wall. Now O'Reilly on the backhand gets it back, far side Murchison. Now Eckerly looking for Ness, picked off by O'Reilly at the half wall near side. Look to put it in deep past Smolin. Clement takes a big hit from the freshman Smolin. That's 4 years of difference in terms of schooling from those two players. And Kyle Smolin laid out the captain, Jack Clement, the graduate defenseman. Eckerly puts it right on Neaton, who had his pad down, and will take the soft shot, gets the whistle. 13-13 to go in the second period. 1-1 the score. Face-off takes place in the far side dot of the ASU offensive zone. Lucas Sillinger with 6 points in the first 5 games, including that goal to tie this game up at 1. Sillinger, who had an up-and-down first year, a lot of injuries at ASU after he transferred originally from Bemidji State, now starting to turn it on. Taransky into the offensive zone for the Red Hawks, caught up in his skates as he tried one too many moves. Far side goal line, Murchison right into the corner. He takes a hit, and he's down. Murchison holding his head, and there's the whistle. It was an odd play as Murchison went into the corner. He was laid out by a Red Hawk. It seemed to be Taransky. It could have been Helene. Have to check the replay. Murchison is up and will slowly be skating to his bench, bent over at the waist. The officials are talking to determine if this will be any sort of punishment against the Red Hawks. Murchison gets to the bench and will sit down and start to get treated by the trainer, the athletic trainer Rick Kovard, and of course the strength and conditioning coach Leanne Blinn. 6th year for Leanne Blinn and the 4th year for Kovard. 12:55 to go in the second period. We have our ice break, 1-1 the score between Miami and Arizona State. We'll be right back on Blaze Radio with more Sun Devil hockey. Back here on Blaze Radio, more Sun Devil hockey from Oxford, Ohio. Miami and Arizona State taking battle in Game 2 of a 2-game series. Miami winning 5-4 in overtime last night. Murchison went down in the far side corner of the defensive zone for the Sun Devils and slowly got up and made his way to the bench. The officials went into the penalty box to review during the break, and now we're going to see if there's an official call. It doesn't seem to be so, and the officials are going to talk with the Sun Devil coaching staff, more specifically Coach Greg Powers. Powers had a strong offseason. He actually got named to the ACHA Hall of Fame this past April, his 9th year at the D1 level, 16th overall, and an Arizona State grad going to the wonderful Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. 12:55 to go. It seems as though the faceoff's going to be moved to the neutral zone. No calls have been made. Murchison, who was on the bench to start the break, is still on the bench. No trainer paying him any specific attention more than he was when he initially came to the bench slowly skating with his head down. So he seems to be all right. Face-off takes place on the Arizona State defensive side of the neutral zone on the far side. The officials seem to be putting some ice on, possibly a little break, not a break in the ice, but a little disleveling or unleveling in the ice in front of the Arizona State bench. ASU doubling Miami in shots on net, 12-6, and leading 6-2 in this period. The small disleveling is fixed, and we're off and running. Red Hawks win the draw. Feenstra on the near side blue line will dump it in down to Helene behind Homer. Helene now to the far side with the help of Taransky, watched closely by the freshman Niedermeyer. And let's just say this, Josh Niedermeyer does not look like a freshman. He's a big body out there, 6 foot, 205 pounds. The brother of Jackson, who played last night, will not be playing tonight. Tucker Ness taking his spot. Helene, far side goal line, picked off by Alexander, the center, playing down deep in the defensive zone. Will knock it off the far side wall and down. Will it have enough for icing? It will not, as the officials make the safe sign, negating the icing. Copperwood takes the loose puck in the near side circle in the offensive zone. Len loses it, and the Red Hawks will break out. Helene over to Feenstra with the help of Dukovac. Feenstra far side blue line, drop pass Dukovac into the center of the ice, drop pass Kumlin in the circle. Back door looking for Vitolins, but it went off his skate. If that found his stick, he had an open net to shoot at. Vitolins from long range, and a blocker save from Homer. Kept into the offensive zone, Vitolins. Now near side along the half wall is Taransky, who will turn with it and put it right back down to Vitolins, who stands at the goal line on the near side. Gets past level. Vitolins at the half wall, near side, down to Dukovac, who makes a move on Alexander, who almost held him and almost got the call from the officials as well. Copperwood took it away, then turned it over. Alexander in his own zone. Miami will get a change and allow him to get a little bit more time to break it out. With the help of Timmy Lovell and the tip from Tyler Gratton, they'll get into the offensive zone. Reichwitz back for the Red Hawks. Takes a hit from Dylan Jackson. Gratton in his skates, getting pinned to the boards by Dempsey. Dempsey's got Gratton. Dylan Jackson is taking his stick and just putting into Gratton's skates to try to get the puck out. Murchison from the far side blue line. Can't get it out. Blocked by Reichwitz, who went down to a knee, and now we have a whistle. They're going to call this a hand pass as Miami put it ahead with their hand. Sun Devils with a chance there. Was Gratton in the corner, and Jackson was almost shuffleboarding at Gratton's skate to try to get it out of the scrum. 10:54 to go in period number 2. Face off on the far side in the offensive zone for ASU. Red Hawks win the draw with Vitolins, whose first line was still out there. Taken down is Schmaggy on the icing. No call, but the arm is up for the icing, which will send us all the way back down to where we started just a few seconds ago. The Sun Devils did dress 17 men tonight, so if they have to hold Murchison out for any sort of time, they still can play with 6. Murchison, who is on the bench, but is at the end of the bench. Where the defense are sitting, he seems to be all right, and we haven't seen him since, but he's going to be playing, of course, with Ethan Schmaggy. He's been his defensive partner for the last few seasons. Schmaggy the junior and Murchison the same. Red Hawks win the draw, near side wall. They get it out. Tipped ahead by Waldron into the offensive zone, cutting toward the net. Pass across for Dempsey, who was cutting toward the net. He couldn't get a shot away. Waldron keeps the puck in the near side circle. Turnaround shot blocked away by Dylan Jackson. He uses the boards to get it out at the red line in front of the ASU bench. He turns it over to Waldron. Ness to Dylan Jackson in the offensive zone. Tie in the slot. Pass across Sillinger. Now down. One more pass, and the shot blocked by the blocker of Neaton. It was a nice triangle-like passing play between Sillinger, Ty Jackson, and Anthony Dowd, who stepped up on the play. Sun Devils right back in the offensive zone. Sillinger down low, and a big save by Neaton. Dylan Jackson at the side of the net on the backhand. Couldn't get it past the netminder for Miami. Down the left side came Jackson in the offensive zone. Pass to the near side, Sillinger, who found Jackson back door, but couldn't put it past Neaton. 10:05 to go in the second period. 1-1. We still stand in a deadlock as we almost reach the halfway point of game number 2 of 2 between these two teams. Their first matchup of all time, but definitely not the last. They'll match up a lot of times in the future, every single year, now being in the same conference. Down low behind Neaton. Chambers couldn't pick it up. It's picked off by the Red Hawks. Moulton gets it past the red line and goes to get his own dump-in attempt. He'll try the other side. Only Charlie Shane was there, and it goes into the Miami bench as it went off the stick of Chambers. 9:45 to go now in the second period, and the face-off in front of the Miami bench in the neutral zone. Chambers, Shane, and Gret in the forward set with Level and Tabakin on the back end. Sun Devils seem to be giving the Murchison and Schmaggy defensive pairing a little bit of time, as they haven't played since Murchison went down earlier in the second period. They'll drop the puck. Helene wins it for Miami, but Shane was the only one to get there. Now he turns it over to Feenstra in the defensive zone. Dukovac takes a big hit from Level, who lays a center ice hit of his own after Dylan Jackson took 2 center ice hits earlier in this game. Red Hawks have the puck. Feenstra in his defensive zone goes cross ice far side for Taransky into the offensive zone far side, now to the middle. Dukovac on the backhand, back pass for Feenstra, and Comer read it the whole way. A blocker save from this redshirt sophomore netminder. Kumlin goes far side for Taransky, who turns around with it, gives it right back to Feenstra in his defensive zone. 9:15 to go in period number 2 of a tie game between Miami and Arizona State. Tried for the long breakaway pass for Dukovic off his stick. Eckerly in the neutral zone. Now O'Reilly past the red. Couldn't take it into the offensive zone as Feenstra took it away from him. Loose puck picked up by Helene, the second line center. O'Reilly lays a hit into him in front of the penalty boxes. Cox to Helene as Miami looks to set up a rush. Feenstra in front of the ASU bench takes a hit, and Fletcher dumps it right to the side of the net, and Homer will put his glove on top of it and freeze it. 8:40 to go in period number 2. 13-8 Arizona State on top in terms of shots on goal. Probably should have more than 1 goal. They had 4. Grade A, if not even better. An A-plus chance for Arizona State. 4 of them in this probably first 4 or 5 minutes of the second period. Only could get 1 to go in the back of the net, with Lucas Sillinger tying this game at 1 after Miami struck first in the first period. Faceoff takes place near side circle, offensive zone for Miami after Homer throws the puck. Fletcher loses the draw for Miami. So Schmaggy uses the boards and gets it out to neutral ice. Drasner across. It went under the stick of Cox, picked up by O'Reilly in all offensive zone. Eckerly to Smolin, who put it high as he was cutting down the slot, and Kyle Smolin, who shot it from a similar area last night to score the 3rd goal for ASU, couldn't get this one to go. Fletcher into the offensive zone, a hand up from the official, as a penalty will be coming up against the Sun Devils. Drasner at the top on the far side, now near side Cox at the blue. Cox gets it back. Taransky at the half wall, near side, turns away from Smolin. Taransky, the sophomore, still with it. Over to Drasner at the blue, where he has already got one tonight. Tried to go to Cox, went under his stick. Took some pressure from Smolin, goes all the way across to Fletcher. 6 attackers on for Miami with Neaton out of the net. The delayed call against the Sun Devils coming up. At the top is Drasner. Now near side circle, Daskis. Back to Drasner, who will switch spots with Cox. At the top, Fletcher, near side circle, shoots over the net. It caroms all the way back to the near side. Cox keeps it. Still no touch from ASU on this delayed call. 6-on-5. O'Reilly couldn't touch it. Kept in by Cox near side, just inside the blue line. Drasner. Now Fletcher at the top of the circle. Big slap shot by Daskis. He fanned on it at the side of the net. Homer hold his spot. Daskis couldn't get the rebound, and we're going to have the penalty as the Sun Devils finally touch it up. A lot of action there on the delayed penalty as Miami was threatening. And a scrum in front of the net, and it's going to be a penalty against actually Ty Murchison in his first shift since he took a big hit in the corner. He is going to go to the box. And Miami goes to the power play for the 4th time tonight. So far 0 for 3. Murchison, who led the team in penalty minutes last season, now goes to the box here. Also took a penalty last night for tripping. Murchison to the box, face-off won by the Sun Devils, and Niedermeyer gets it past Cox on the far side blue line, clears it all the way down. Slashing the call against Murchison, and here comes Miami the other way. Barbolini at the near side red line. Drop pass for Vitolins inside the offensive zone, near side half wall. Cox now at the top over to Fletcher. Big save by Homer on the far side. One-timer by P.J. Fletcher. Fletcher, who scored goal number 2 last night for Miami. Under 7 minutes to go in period number 2. Cox carries it in his own defensive zone, goes and weaves past Eckerly. Drop pass for Vitolins over to Waldron, who will dump it in. Homer will play this puck. He'll use the far side wall, turns it over to Fletcher, who goes right back to the blue line. Far side for Cox. Near side Vitolins in his skates, trying to put it forward in the offensive zone, and Tabakin picks up the loose puck and knocks it all the way down. Waldron will start it in his own defensive zone. A minute gone in the penalty against Ty Murchison. Waldron across the big block M in the center of the ice. Waldron in the offensive zone. His shot was blocked and out of play off the stick, or actually off the leg of Schmaggy, who's flexing out his left leg. Seems to be all right, but took one for the team is what they say. 49 seconds to go in the penalty against Murchison. 1-1 the score between ASU and Miami. Face-off takes place in the near side circle. Offensive zone for the Red Hawks, a team that scored 5 goals last night and starts their NCHC play next week against St. Cloud. A team that, and multiple teams, that the Sun Devils will become more familiar with as they join the NCHC next year. Won by the Red Hawks, near side half wall. Kumlin will try to go to the center, picked off by Niedermeyer, who just knocks it out of the offensive or the defensive zone for ASU. Dukovac at the red line in the middle of the ice. Into the near side, uses the glass to dump it in. This one is offside, as the Red Hawk was in the zone just before the dump-in attempt. 5:57 to go in period number 2. Face-off in neutral ice. 31 seconds to go in the penalty against Murchison. Chris Williams, the referee, drops the puck. And off we go. Tabakin behind Homer. A little bit of space, a little bit of time and space for Schmaggy, who gets the pass and knocks it all the way down to Neaton. 5:45 to go in period number 2. 1-1 still our score. Here comes Miami across the red line. Taransky on the near side. Drop pass for Dukovac into the offensive zone. Near side at the circle. Now at the goal line. He'll circle the zone and circle the puck. Ryquist far side blue line. Looks for Dukovac, who gloves it out of midair at the center of the offensive zone. Turns it over to Schmaggy, who will high flip it all the way out of the penalty box as Murchison. Sun Devils are 4 for 4 on the PK tonight. Ryquist behind his own net to Helene. Slingshot play over to Taransky, who now skates at the near side in front of his own benches into the offensive zone, into the circle. Centering pass picked up by O'Reilly, and he dumps it out of the defensive zone to Moulton, who stands at the red line. 5 minutes to go in period number 2. Clement to Moulton, the senior and graduate student. A lot of experience between those two guys on the defensive standing. Moulton with 86 games played. This is 87th, and Clement with a otherworldly 135. Eckerly picks up the loose puck at center ice. Will knock it on in. Right behind the net is Moulton. Picked up near side Jackson. Trying to get it to Eckerly. Jackson getting double shifted here on the fourth line instead of Smolin. Dowd in his own defensive zone. Gets the tip in from Eckerly, who will go for a change. Sillinger's line comes on. Behind the net is Ty Jackson on the forecheck. Picked up by Clement, who couldn't get it past Sillinger. And behind Neaton at the goal line. Now near side blue line. Schmaggy couldn't keep it in. And Murchison will have to retreat to keep it out of the hands of Waldron, who could have been one-on-one with Homer. Sillinger into the offensive zone. Now Dylan Jackson puts it wide. Sillinger on the rebound just out of his reach. Fletcher picks it up, and out come the Red Hawks. Tried a cross-ice pass for Waldron out of his reach. Dylan Jackson tips it in. Sillinger into the offensive zone, and his shot off the stick of Clement and out of play. We all know about the silky wrister of Lucas Sillinger, and he tried it there. Clement with, like as we said, a lot of experience. He's the most experienced player in this Miami lineup, 135 games played. He knows exactly what to do when Sillinger's coming down the ice. 3:51 to go in the second period. We have another ice break. We'll be right back with more Sun Devil hockey on Blaze Radio. Back here from Oxford, Ohio. 3:51 to go in period number 2 of game 2 of 2 of this weekend series for ASU. They came in 4-0, lost last night 5-4 in overtime. Sun Devils looking for a split tonight against these Miami Redhawks. 1-1 the score. Face off in the near side circle. Jackson loses it. Redhawks get it. Kuhlman behind his own net and cleared out by Waldron. Will it have enough icing? It will not, as the referees negate it. Schmaggy back for the Sun Devils. Jackson will try the other side to break it out with the help of Murchison. They do. Sillinger backhands it into the center of the ice. It finds the stick of Schmaggy into the offensive zone. Ethan Schmaggy at the goal line, near side in front, looking for Sillinger. Centering pass found the stick of Waldron, and out come the Redhawks. Kuhlman across the right in the center of the ice, now far side for Vitalins. Circles with it past Schmaggy, who puts the pressure on him. It goes to Murchison. Far side goal line to Schmaggy, his D partner, who backhands it off the boards and out. Feenstra to Kuhlman in the defensive zone for Miami. They'll go far side for Waldron. Schmaggy pinches up and keeps it in. Schmaggy down low for Sillinger on the backhand at the goal line in front, looking for the defenseman Schmaggy. Picked off by Kuhlman, and out come Miami. Waldron can't skate up to a loose puck. Tabakin will pick it up. The Sun Devil D-lines and a little bit of switching up here in the second period. Jackson fans on the shot from the top of the near circle. Picked up by Tabakin, who's deep in the offensive zone. Jackson can't keep it in. And out goes Barbolini with the help of Waldron, who skates to the red and will dump it on in off of Copperud and off the glass behind Homer. 2:30 to go in period number 2. 1-1, we are still tied here in the second. Ryquist knocks Copperud off the puck on the far side in the offensive zone for ASU. Dukovac uses the glass along the near side to get it out. Goes past Alexander, gets to the red as Dukovac, who goes past Young. Dukovac into the offensive zone, near side circle. Drop pass for Taransky, who puts it wide of the short side of Homer, and it caroms all the way out to the defensive zone of Miami, where Ryquist will skate onto it. The 2-minute warning of the second period, still tied 1-1 between the Redhawks and the Sun Devils. Dump in attempt by the Redhawks, go all the way down to Gibson Homer, the goaltender. Alexander can't pick it up. It just jumps its way out to neutral ice. Alex Young into the offensive zone. A back check by Helene stops his momentum now at the half wall on the near side. Young gets it down deep. Overskated it was Copperud. Taransky overskated it and then took a spill. But right there for his help was Drasner to keep it in Miami possession. It finds the skate of Dempsey, who will skate with it in the defensive zone. Sun Devils get a change. Copperud not happy with Dempsey in front of the ASU bench as they share a few words and a few shoves. The puck finds itself past Homer. Dowd with a long pass looking for Grattan, the captain, picked off by Drasner. Into the offensive zone goes Miami. Mesenberg centering pass, found the stick of Chambers, and out come the Sun Devils. Chambers and Grattan 2-on-2 into the offensive zone. Chambers along the far side, goes it off the boards to himself. Backhand shot in on Neaton, goes off the side of the net. Back to neutral ice, 1 minute to go in period number 2. Dowd off the boards to Chambers along the near side in front of the ASU bench to Neaton, who plays it to his defenseman and Cox. Near side is Sullivan, who will skate with it. Drasner on the far side gets the tip in from Fletcher, who almost had a baseball bunt into the offensive zone with his stick. It jumps out of the offensive zone off the stick of Kyler Gratton, the captain, the 4-year Penn State Nittany Lion, and then transferred here to the Sun Devils, and this summer was named captain unanimously for ASU, something you don't usually see for a grad transfer. Waldron to the offensive zone to Vitollins, who puts it wide of the short side of Homer. Where's the puck? Everyone's looking for it. Only person who knew where it was is Shane, and then he let it go. Waldron now in front, Barbaloni, and the shot taken, saved by Gibson. Homer, who was dashing with his shoulder. Gratton picks off the pass in the center of the ice and will dump it on down at the end of a long shift, and that's the end of the second period. Big chance for Barbalini at the end of that frame. End of 40 minutes. We're still tied at 1. ASU in control in terms of the shots on goal, 13-10, but still a 1-1 score. Both teams exit the ice. We'll be back for period number 3, 1-1, as Sillinger with the goal for ASU in that second period, and Drasner got the goal for Miami to start it off in the first frame. 1-1 is where we stand as we go to the final 20 minutes here from Oxford, Ohio. Stay tuned for more Sun Devil hockey on Blaze Radio. All right, back here in Oxford, Ohio for period number 3 of game 2 of the weekend, or actually 7th period. Or check that. Yep, 7th period. Doing some math this weekend. As we had 4 last night, it was only a 17-second 4th period, that being the overtime period yesterday. And then now 3 periods today, so 7th period overall. And who knows, if we stay tied, we might get an 8th period. But that's the maximum we can go. A fresh 20 on the clock in period number 3. A good second period for the Sun Devils. One of their best of the weekend, even though they only scored 1 goal. It was a good one. Multiple chances earlier in that period as well to extend the lead, possibly or have a lead, or maybe get a lead as well. But 1-1 the score we have after 2. Some stats after 2. Shots are in favor of the Sun Devils, 13-10. Gibson Homer has looked good in net in his first collegiate start, his first collegiate appearance for his career, and his first appearance, of course, with the Sun Devils. Penalties in the second, 1 for each side. Ryquist for tripping earlier, 3 minutes about into the second period, and then Murchison took a slashing call right in the middle of the middle frame. So it's all tied up, all square as we go into the final frame of the weekend, possibly. Who knows? Might have another extra period like we did last night. So a fresh 20. Sun Devils definitely need to come out with a lot of energy and really would love a split. Because if you go down, if you get swept at the hands of Miami, which is a good team so far, however, in the past they really have not been able to hit their stride. Only 28 wins in the last 4 seasons for this Miami Redhawks team, especially last year where they really didn't play well at home. 3-13-2. They were picked last in the NCHC preseason poll. You only have to have a good third period, which is off and running. Sun Devils win the draw. It's level back in his own zone on the far side circle. Now Tabakin near side red line will dump it into the far side corner. Moulton, first one there for the Redhawks. Defenseman Clement gets it to Vitolins, and out come the Redhawks along the far side. Barbolini with Waldron to his right will dump it into the near side. First one there is Vitolins getting pinned to the boards by Jackson. Far side Sillinger gets it out on the backhand. Here's Jack Clement. We mentioned his experience back in the second period. 136 now games played at the collegiate level. His second year being the captain of the Redhawks. And Coach Chris Bergeron, his 5th season here in Oxford after 10 seasons over as an assistant coach with Miami, and then a couple seasons, 9 years, with Bowling Green as their head coach. He said how big it was for Clement to come back for his graduate year playing in Oxford. Chambers puts it into the offensive zone. Grattan lays a big hit behind the net, but the puck goes the way of the Redhawks as Helene along the near side half wall turns it over to Chambers, but gets it right back after some pressure from Turonsky. Near side Helene, drop pass for Turonsky. Gets a big hit by Grattan, and the Sun Devils bench loves it. Grattan put Turonsky down with his shoulder as a deflected shot goes just wide of Gibson Homer, and then in front Helene, poking at it, still loose on the backhand, couldn't put it home, and the clear by Shane. It will roll on its side all the way down for icing. But most importantly, of course, the Sun Devils can't change. The most important part is the puck didn't go in the back of the net as Helene was coming right out in front. Homer was down and had a few whacks at it, but couldn't put it in the back of the net. A minute 30 gone in the third period. Face off at the far side offensive zone for Miami. Teddy Lagerback, we mentioned his history with the Sun Devils, 1 year at ASU before transferring this offseason to Miami. Stands on the nearest side to the ASU bench, talking with Dylan Jackson at the blue line. Redhawks turn it over. Shane looking to skate into it. Cox gets there first, or else it would have been a 2-on-1 for ASU. It goes past Fletcher into the neutral zone, Dowd over to Niedermeyer. The two freshmen play catch, and Niedermeyer puts one into the glove of Neaton from long range. He continues it on. Ryquist, according to the near side, gets it out to the red line. Mesenberg centering past to Fletcher goes off his skate and goes to Dowd along the far side in the defensive zone. He gets the tip in from Alexander. Young has his stick in the way. Doesn't matter for Miami as they break it out with the help of Mesenberg and Dempsey. Zane Dempsey along the red turns it over to Copperwood, who looked to find Alexander, who's coming along the middle of the ice. Couldn't find him as it went off his shin pad. Sullivan turns and sweeps it on out of the defensive zone. Not enough for icing. Level back with 2.5 gone in the third period. Level across the center ice Across the red line into the offensive zone on the near side. Lovell backhand pass in front for Copperwood, and Neaton was down, but Copperwood couldn't get the shot away. Good stick by Drasner to lift his stick just in time before the shot got through. Lovell couldn't keep it at the blue on the far side. He has to skate back to retrieve it, and he does. Tabakin fires it right back along the near side in the offensive zone. Alexander couldn't stop the puck, and Barbolini skates it out with it. It goes off the stick of Alexander, off the glove of Eckerly, who couldn't glove it down. Waldron near side puts it into the far side corner as the Redhawks will get a full change. Lovell with a long pass on the backhand looking for O'Reilly, who skates into it along the far side half wall. Smolin lays a big hit behind the goaltender, Neaton, by Clement. Here comes Taransky into the offensive zone, 3-on-2 for Miami. Down deep looking for the defenseman Moulton, who was joining the offensive zone rush. Eckerly gets it out along the near side. Turnover, O'Reilly in the offensive zone, near side circle, turnaround shot blocked by Helene, the second line center. O'Reilly goes along the boards, kept in by Dowd, near side blue line, putting his hand in the face of Taransky to get the defenseman away from the defenseman. Literally and figuratively. Smolin lays a hit, the puck comes back out to neutral ice. Eckerly will enter right back in with Dowd and Smolin. Eckerly, far side circle, centering pass on the backhand, got deflected back behind Neaton. At the goal line, Eckerly goes far side blue line. Schmaggy, whose shot is blocked down by the stick of his own man Smolin, along with Clement, who have done battles over the past 2 games. Dowd uses the wall to get past one, uses his silky skating to get past another, and then turned it over. Smolin got it right back on the backhand. Jackson couldn't keep it in, and the Redhawks will skate it out with Dukovac. Sullivan to Clement. Past the defensive blue line to the red line, turned it over to Dylan Jackson, who turned it right back over to Sullivan, who gave it right to Ty Murchison, who fanned on the pass. Dylan Jackson got it there first and took the stick of Feenstra out of his hands. Sullivan looks to get it out on the breakout on the near side half wall. Now at the goal line, Jackson. Dylan to Ty at the goal line, near side blue line. Murchison lays a shot in far short side of Neaton, who didn't have to do anything but guard his own post. Fletcher tries the far side wall. Jackson looking to get it to the blue line where Sillinger stands, and they do. Sillinger puts it in deep. Feenstra tried the other side. Ty Jackson read it the whole way. Centering pass found nobody, and it caroms all the way back to where Homer stands in his own crease. 5 minutes gone in the third period. Still a tie game, 1-1 in Game 2 of this weekend set. Miami taking Game 1, 5-4 in overtime. Sillinger gets back at the far blue line. Shane scores! No, he hit the post! Oh, Charlie Shane put it through the 5-hole of Neaton as he was cutting toward the center and just hit the post, and it came its way out. That close to taking the lead, Charlie Shane, who got his first goal of the season last weekend against Northern Michigan. 14:30 to go in the third period. Shane so close to making it 2-1 Sun Devils. Redhawks dump it in. Lovell behind Homer. Gets it to Grattan along the near side half wall, who will go right back to Lovell in his own zone. They try the other side of the ice. They find Shane, who drops it for Chambers. Brian Chambers into the offensive zone on the far side. Will go down deep for Grattan. Centering pass, nobody home. Picked up by Vitolins, who will backhand it to center ice where Waldron stands. Waldron into the offensive zone. Long shot, takes it, and the blocker save from Homer. Waldron with the overtime winner last night. He's had a great start to the season. 8 points in the first 5 games for John Waldron. Young putting pressure on Dempsey in the offensive zone of the Sun Devils. Turns it over to Dukovac, and here come the Redhawks the other way. Near side, Helene into the offensive zone at the circle. Now in the backhand pass. Copperwood centering pass for Taransky, who was cutting toward the net. Alexander lifted his stick in time. Dowd picks up the loose puck into the offensive zone. The freshman Anthony Dowd drop pass. Copperwood puts it wide to the short side of Neaton along the ice. Young from a sharp angle couldn't get it through. Alexander now at the half wall, the far side. Copperwood behind Neaton. Has a lot of time and space. Gets it back to Niedermeyer at the near side blue line. He put it wide to the short side once more. The Sun Devils have missed that way more than a couple times tonight. Taransky passed Dowd. Niedermeyer and his big body got in the way as Taransky was trying to cut toward the net. Alexander taking off the puck in front. Copperwood off the pad. Rebound chance. Still in front. Alexander at the goal line on the far side. Back to the blue. Kept in Schmaggy. No. It came out of the zone. The officials were all the way on it from the far side, or the near side, looking to the far side. The officials, who are, of course, NCHC regulated, saw it and ruled it offside. 12:49 to go in the third period. Still a tie game, 1-1 between ASU and Miami. here at Miami, Ohio with 7:12 to go. (1-1) the score between ASU and the Redhawks with 7:12 to go after a 5